It's the new year! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! I don't even remember if I said that last night. I guess I did. Who knows?
So, was it happy?
I think so.
Well,
the morning wasn't.
Ugh. It gets tricky that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
hurt me.
Starting it off, you can only go up, you know?
I guess that is a good way to think of it.
Did you watch Dolly Parton and Miley? Because it was amazing.
You know, it was on at the bar I was at, so I couldn't hear it, but I saw them, and I was like, thank God.
They were incredible.
I bet. Dolly Parton had a Christmas special, and I'm pretty sure she had Miley on it for most of it. And I was like, I love this, like, duo.
Their voices were incredible. The songs they picked were incredible.
Yeah.
And Anderson Cooper and, like, Andy Cohen, who I also love watching,
God.
didn't drink this year. So everybody was talking about how boring they were. I thought that was funny. I was like, well, I was over watching Miley and Dolly. Because
why couldn't they drink?
I don't know.
Did they
the network was like, you two. Giggle monsters.
That's the best, though. That's entertainment. Right, listeners? That's why you're all fucking here. Am I right? Hear us giggle? Wow. Was Paris Hilton involved with any of those things?
She came out.
Thank you.
And
okay.
I was with a bunch of people and I screamed for her and then they all were like, ew. And I was like, excuse me.
Bridget's
I was like,
thank God, because I have a PowerPoint presentation.
I'm like, she is a lot more intelligent and impressive. And I was like, she has written laws. And they were like, uh-huh. And I was like, you need to read up about her.
Yeah, guys.
She doesn't just look good, okay? She does good for society.
And she's a DJ. So there.
You know, Kate, how'd you do this? I thought I was talking about Dolly and Miley and then Paris, and now I'm going on my spiel again.
Sorry. It's all good. It's all good. We all know I'm going to whip out Degrassi later, so it's just on brand for us.
You know what? New year, same us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, 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 sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Wow, you guys remember this show, huh?
Woo!
How you doing?
Did they forget? What does that mean?
Oh, I just meant the movie we're doing.
Oh, this show.
Oh,
like
the movie.
Show.
Sorry.
All
Do you remember?
right.
Wait, let's do it again.
Oh, God.
You guys remember this movie?
This was a movie.
Hold on, spider monkey!
Oh, dear, there's a lot. Okay, well, Bridge, new year, new look, new intro. Here we go.
Oh.
Listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And this is the skin of a killer, Bella!
I'm a murderer!
Oh, God, the drama. There's a lot of teen angst drama in this. Whew, brings you back.
I think I told you that I don't think I ever saw this. Like, I saw clips of it, and wow, there's a lot.
Now you can say
there's a lot happening. Very 2008.
Bridge, what's the movie?
The movie is Twilight. From the original from 2008, based off of a book.
It was written by Stephenie Meyer, who makes a cameo in the movie.
I saw it at the diner. Am I right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the lady's like, here's your burger, Stephenie. And Stephanie's like, thanks, bitch. I'm writing my next novel. And you're like, whoa.
She's like, what do you think powers these pages? All right? That juicy, juicy Seattle meat.
Yeah.
I think it's your turn to do
okay.
the synopsis.
You know what?
Last time I took
Oh, yeah, you did, because it was White Lotus. Okay, I'll do it. Oh, God, listeners. You know, I mentioned this last time, but I'm going to preface it here. I read all of these books. There are 4 books.
Wow.
Actually, there's technically been more because the books are from Bella's perspective, who is played by Kristen Stewart. She's like the main character. But then the author, Stephenie Meyer, like later, years after, wrote basically the exact same book, but from Edward's perspective.
Ooh.
Edward is the other main character. He's a vampire. Spoiler. He's played by Robert Pattinson. Big role for him.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. So anywho, didn't read those ones, but I read all the originals.
Okay.
Saw all the movies, some of them at midnight. Not this one. I did not see this one at midnight.
Wow.
Okay, so, if we get into lore, I'm ready. I got you guys. Okay. So, we have Bella, who is Kristen Stewart. She is a teenager. Boy, howdy. She's a little emo lady, let me tell you.
There's only 3 smiles.
Yeah, and they're
whole
like
movie.
half. Like
They're
it's
not
like half
even
a face.
really smiles. Mm-hmm.
No teeth, we're not
Mm-mm.
seeing that.
Mm-mm.
So Bella is our narrator, and she's like, hey guys, like, my parents are divorced, child of divorce, fine. My mom has a new husband. He's like a baseball player, so they're like moving around. So I'm gonna go live with my dad. And like, I was originally in Arizona, and now I'm gonna go move to Forks, Washington. This is not a real place. Is this a real place, actually? Uh-oh.
It's near Spoons across from
Lord.
ours.
And Sporks. Yep. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, I have to say this now. There was a really amazing parody movie of Twilight, and then the second one that they like put into one like parody movie. It's called Vampires Suck. I highly recommend listeners. It's like up there for me in parody movies.
Wow.
But the name of the town is Sporks in the movie.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, I'll try to get back on track. So Bella's moving to Forks, not Sporks, and she's gonna go live with her dad that she hasn't really seen in a while, whatever. Her dad's name is Charlie. He's the chief of police. Charlie is the best character in the entire series. I will not be taking questions. Thank you.
Who is?
Okay. Charlie, the dad. He's the most normal.
He really is almost normal.
Yeah, he gets shafted, in my opinion.
Okay, interesting. All right.
So Bella, it's, a new place, and now she's going to a new high school. She's the new girl, and it's got 80s new girl rules, which is where everyone loves her for no reason. And yeah, now she has lots of friends, and people love her and want to date her. But pretty quickly, thank fucking God, we get into the vampire subplot, because I can't with the children. There's a family of, we don't know they're vampires at first, of foster kids in quotation marks, but they're all dating and they're attractive people, and they all just like keep to themselves, and everyone's like, yeah, it's so weird. They're like super rich. Pretty sure we've seen them for years and years. They always look the same. They don't go out in the sunlight. They're really cold. They don't eat things. Crazy. Anyway, they're humans. And you're like, I don't think so, but okay. And lo and behold, Bella basically meets Edward. Edward's the only single one of these children, so here we go. And wow, their relationship is not great, but for a teen, it might be cool, but whoa. But they end up dating, and she ends up being like, you're a fucking vampire bitch. And he's like, yeah, skin of a killer, Bella. Look at my sparkles.
Bella.
Like, what?
Hi, girl.
He's like, I will kill you, but I love you, but you're gonna die. And you're like, what? This is not good, but whatever. And then there's some drama because there's these other vampires who are actual bad vampires, because our vampires are good vampires, something. And they've been murdering people, and then they want to murder Bella. And then the last 40 minutes of the movie is like The Fugitive, where we're just like fucking trying to not get Bella killed. And it's very drama. And then in the end, Bella gets like beat up, because that happens a lot. And she's like, Edward, I love you. And then he's like, I don't know, this might not be a healthy relationship. And she's like, Edward, date me. And he's like, oh God, okay. That's how it ends. Then they date. And there's also Jacob. He's not a big character in this movie, but he gets big roles in the next movies, and his hair gets shorter, which is an upgrade, and he gets a 6-pack. So, yep. That's that on that.
I think that was great.
Thanks. If it sounds weird, it's because it is.
It's because it is. And also, I think when this came out, all the books already came out, right?
Yes.
So you knew other storylines were happening, and they had to fit a lot into one movie.
Actually, I want to look that up. When did the Twilight...
Because I feel
or is that
like
a fact?
they, teased Jacob's plot.
Well, yeah, they definitely did. And the second movie, he's like, oh, surprise, I'm a werewolf. And you're like, we know, all right? We get it. God. The last book is Breaking Dawn, and it came out the year that this movie came out. So, yeah. Wow, she pumped those bad boys out. New book every year. Shit, Stephenie.
God damn it, Stephenie. That diner's feeding you fuel.
Get that steak.
Well, how do we get started?
I think we gotta go in order, Bridge.
So it's 2008. Lots are happening.
Yep.
The jeans are low rise. The shirts showing a little bit of that belly.
Headbands are in.
Headbands are in. Middle parts still in.
That's always in for me. Yes.
Oh God, that was showing my age. And I feel like there's a lot with this movie, but the first line she says, which is also the last line, is, "I never thought about how I would die."
Emo.
So I thought, okay, so this is about death.
Kind
But then it's also about love. But then it's about love and death.
Yeah.
And, okay. Yeah. I don't understand that she has this lovely mother, and they're in Arizona, and she's a junior in high school. Formative years of high school.
This is a very important year. Yes, very important year.
Yeah. SATs, getting ready for colleges, okay?
Yeah.
And she likes her life in Arizona, and everything's fine. And then her mom gets this, like, new guy, and just decides to travel, and Belle's like, it's the least I could do for her. What?
Because that's
the dumbest subplot ever.
The stepdad is like, he's a baseball player? Not professional baseball player. It's a minor league, so let's all keep that in perspective. And Bella's like, yeah, I knew my mom was so sad she couldn't, like, travel around with him. Because, like, fuck being my mom, right? So anyway, I'm gonna, like,
you've done the mom job for 16 years. You got 2 years left, and you're just gonna say, I'm good.
It's just like,
what the fuck?
Bye! Take this cactus and get out of my face.
I thought that was so weird. And then she's always like, hey girl, tell me about the boys. I go, why don't you just be her mother? And then she'll tell you all about the boys.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted to hear about the boys for Bella, and I was like, I
know. I found that, like, so annoying, but I'm like, all right, we're just moving on. And she's like, yeah, my stepdad's pretty cool, and my mom's happy, so I think it's great. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're not all supposed to focus on how dumb this is? Whatever.
Nope, we gotta focus on Sporks, Bridge.
But
okay?
As you mentioned, Charlie, her father, gets a bad rap, and what has Charlie done wrong? He just lives far away?
He just lives far away, and I think one of the main downsides of Charlie is he is drinking a lot of beer? Like, daytime beers? And I'm like, Charlie, you want to talk about it? So that's my only, like, negative, but there's a lot of pros, okay? Charlie's fucking normal. Charlie reads the room. He's like, you know what? Bella's fucking awkward. I'm not gonna force a convo, okay? We're gonna go get steak. That's fine. Bye-bye. Cool. Also, I bought you a truck. He buys her a fucking truck. That's awesome.
Well, first of all, I'm like, okay, so they never see each other. No. She decides, hey, I'm just gonna, like, show up in your life when I'm 16, which, by the way, that's a rough time to then take a kid back if you haven't seen him in a while. He kept her room immaculate, bought her a truck, and is like, don't worry about my old life I had, and I'm, like, ready to take you in. Now, I would argue he should be closer in Arizona, so I don't love that. However, he did the best he could.
Yeah, and he's just not a dick.
Okay, do you remember the travel hood of the sisters' pants? Traveling sisters.
The pants, Bridge. How can I forget the pants?
The sisterhood of the that's dyslexia came.
No, I like the travel hood. I like that one.
The travel hood of the sister band. And Carmen she's like, I'm gonna go stay with my dad this summer. We never see each other. We never hang out. It's gonna be great. I was like, at this point, if she's 16, why can't she just stay in Arizona? Why does she have to go? Okay, I know I'm butchering that, but I just feel like it could have been a better plot. I was really annoyed by it, but moving on.
We can write a letter to Stephenie Meyer.
She also calls her dad Charlie. Sorry, we should write a letter to Stephenie.
Okay, yeah, we should. Okay. And yeah, she does call him Charlie, and that's her problem, not mine, you know?
I guess.
All right, so she's like, oh my God, whatever. And so she meets Jacob very briefly. She meets Jacob's dad. I don't think we ever learned Jacob's dad's name.
Billy?
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's exactly what it is. Good one, Bridge.
I just wrote it down.
Oh, all right. I didn't use my ears. Yeah, so they're basically like, hey, girl, what's up? Your dad loves you, and here's a truck. And then Jacob's like, hi, I'm Jacob. I'm a fucking dweeb, but don't worry. I get hot in a year. And you're like, you better get along with it, okay? Because I'm over it.
He tries to shake her hand. He's like, hey, Bella, I remember you as a child, while trying to shake her hand. I'm like, wait, shaking hands is like, nice to meet ya, you know? And then he takes it away, and I was like, this is so awkward. This is so high school awkward.
It's so high school awkward, and a lot of these lines are just apparently living rent-free in my brain that I didn't realize, because the line where he goes, "We used to make mud pies as a kid." I'm like, ew, that's not what we want to remember. Come on, dude. Anything else would have been fine. That's what you whip out? Fucking lame. Yeah. So they live on a Native American reservation. So she's like, "Oh, you're going to go to my school. Yeah, you have a friend." And he's like, "Actually, I go to my own school. Bye, bitch." And you're like, oh, okay. Sucks for you, Bella. And then we go to school, Bridge.
Wow.
I mean, listen. These kids. I'm worried about them. I don't think there's a guidance counselor here, okay? I'm just gonna say it. We got some issues going on.
For being, I read this from Roger Ebert's review, the town where the origin of seasonal affective disorder came in. This is a peppy group.
Like, too fucking, like, I'm like, who snorted something? And can I have some?
Very peppy group.
Like, what are we doing? So we meet a guy named Eric, who's like, "Oh my
couldn't
god,
keep
new
up
girl, I'm gonna write a newspaper article about you." This is where I was like, this is not an 80s movie.
hated it.
I think
I
you guys
hated
got
it.
lost. Like, we're confused. Like, don't do that, please.
Uh-huh.
And then Mike is like, "Oh my god, hey, Bella." And Bridge, who is our famous actress that has a small part in this movie.
Wait, Anna Kendrick?
Yes!
Oh, I was like, she plays a big part in this movie.
Zoom, 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 zoom,
zoom, zoom.
I mean, it's kind of big, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So she is what's her face? Oh, God, I don't know.
She's like a
Jessica.
friend.
She's Jessica.
But here's what I took from, as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, they casted people well.
Yeah.
They picked really good actors, and I feel like the story is a little, but the acting was, wow. And seeing Anna Kendrick, you're like, yeah, she's carrying a lot, because I know everyone like rips on Kristen Stewart, because they're like, she just is like, plays awkward or whatever, but I'm like, I felt like she was still a good actress.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, but she's good at doing it, so why are we mad about it?
So in my head, I was like, oh, well, Anna Kendrick's gonna like carry this movie. And so when I saw her like show up, I was like, oh no, they're all like holding their own.
Yeah.
But do we need to talk about at the end when they talk about their tits together? That was weird.
She's like, my boobs look great. And then Bella's like, yeah, they do.
Bella's
like,
like,
guys.
I'm like, wow.
Stephenie Meyer is like, this is where, we're going to get that PG-13 rating right here on this line. Because yeah, everybody's peppy. They're all like, oh my God, Bella, yay, you're our new friend. We adopted you. Come sit with us. And then we have the iconic scene, Bridge. The scene that's been parodied many a time, where we see the dramatic drama entrance of the Cullens. And Bella goes, who are those people?
And it's like,
and then it's like, let's do the intros. Just going through. Yeah, I don't think any of these people look like they're teenagers, but
they're like
sure.
45. It's Dawson's Creek on steroids.
Literally, I thought of Dawson's Creek. I was like, Rosalie and Emmett, I mean, they're like substitute teaching. I don't think.
Why doesn't he ever sit in the car? He's always standing in the car.
I don't know. He's got to assert his dominance over the car.
That's
Who knows,
weird.
Bridge? Not me.
I don't understand it.
My favorite line from this explanation is where she goes, and that's Jasper, the blonde one who always looks like he's in pain. And then it shoots to the guy and he's like, I'm like, what? Why is that your character trait?
I cannot.
It's great. And then fucking Edward, and she's like, who's he? And you're like, well, that's a guy who doesn't own a hairbrush, I think. So cool.
Drink every time someone said Edward is hot.
Oh,
because
God.
I was like, we got it. Loud and clear. We have eyes.
And his pea coat. Wow. Collar flipped up on the pea coat, Bridge. What do we feel about it?
So, okay. So they're foster kids, but they're dating. And then someone's like, ew, that's gross. And she's like, well, they're not related. I'm like, no, that's gross.
It's
Don't
so
you think?
Weird. Yeah, pretty sure.
Because why do they have to be a family? Why can't there be other families? You know what I'm saying?
Because they have to have one set of like adult people.
But they can't find other nice vampire parents?
No, I guess not.
Like, what about ghost parents, like in Beetlejuice?
Honestly, like, this time around, I did kind of feel like I was like, it is a little culty, because not all of them, but like a lot of them were changed by Carlisle, who's the dad. Ew. And you're like, wait. great. But like...
Yeah, where's that backstory?
Well, and then Edward says a line where he's like, yeah, it's such a difficult decision. Because it's like, you know, should I just let them die or become like demon spawn? He doesn't say that, but like, that's how I take it. And then you're like, but he chose demon spawn. So wait, like, is he good or are we making a vampire cult? Okay.
And he's the town doctor. And I gotta tell you, Kate, makes you think.
Well, this is explained in the book, Bridge, the reason he is a doctor, besides, I guess, having a doctor degree or something, is also so they have access to blood without harming people, which is still a federal offense. But here we are. There are a lot of those committed, by the way.
If you were a vampire and you had hundreds of years to live, would you like be a doctor one year and then like an astronaut another year and then like, you know, like what would you do?
I guess. I mean, you could do anything.
So many
and like
things.
you're gonna have unlimited income because you're just like alive forever and you just do whatever you want.
Can you imagine the 401k with that family?
Yeah, they're still here. It's still growing interest. What's
They're
happening?
like, wow, this account never cashed out. Okay, but when we go to the scene where she sees all the graduation caps at their house, and he's like, yeah, that's the thing we do. Like, I always show up for, like, junior year, or I always show up for freshman year, and then I, like, go through high school, and then I move to another town, and I'm like...
Yeah, that's what they do.
Well, you don't
I'm like,
look
why
like
can't they just have
freshmen?
jobs? Why can't we just be adult people? You all look like adults, so we don't know. That's not explained great.
Okay, so now we get to the scene that really confused me, which is she smells in the lab because he wants to eat her, but he hates her because he can't read her mind because she smells. And then she thought her armpit smelled? What's happening, Cade?
He can't not read her mind because of her smell. That has nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
No, it's like, this is a really terrible scene. There's just no saving it, honestly.
He overacts this, and I think he's a phenomenal actor, and I'm like, this is like a little much.
Yeah, like when he's like...
He's like, I'm like, yo, when the kid next to you farts, no one does a face that bad.
So she has a strong smell. One, because she's a human, but I think for him, it's supposed to be stronger because they're like meant to be or some bullshit.
Oh, okay.
And you do find out, Bridge, if you want to know some lore, why he can't read her mind. Well, it's because Bella has her own like magic superpower, which is she can block other people's superpowers. So he reads minds, but he can't read hers because it's blocked. And then you find out like other people have other powers and like nobody can affect Bella because she has like a secret power of basically being like, I'm emo, leave me alone.
Wow. So in my, I kept writing like resting bitch face everywhere, but she's got like resting superpower face. Like she
doesn't know she has that for 3 more books or 4 more books or something. I don't know.
That's kind of a cool and lame superpower.
Yeah.
It's very passive.
It is. It is. But that's that. And then, yeah, Edward's kind of a dick to her. And then he's like, gotta change class. And then they don't. And then the next time you see him, he's like, hey, I'm Edward. Nice to meet you. And I was like, are you good, bro? Because you need some social skills. Okay? How many times have you been to school? Nobody's intervened yet? I'm worried about you.
And you're telling me he doesn't have great suave down at this point? I'm like, what they do in the shadows where they can make people fall in love with them?
Oh.
He doesn't do that, does he?
No, they don't have that power.
Huh.
Also, these are not... Well, okay, the other vampires are like sexually active. Edward's like a virgin. I know. 100-year-old virgin.
All right.
Wow.
So I also read articles about how basically this whole movie is about virginity and the guy being like, no, I can't. And the girl's like, but yes, you can. He's like, no, I can't. I gotta save myself for marriage. That's what they do, Bridge. They do that. It's saved for marriage, which I find so hysterical because then this entire series was turned into a fan fiction that exploded called 50 Shades of Grey. And I find that so fucking hysterical. As someone was like, I'm gonna take this story and make it about like hardcore sex. Let's do it. And you're like, wait, is this the story we should do that for? Oh crazy.
God.
I didn't know that 50 Shades of Grey was based on that.
Okay, yes. It's like almost line by line in some ways. Like characters, Christian Grey is Edward. He's a rich guy who like preys on a girl who's like, I don't know anything and I'm clumsy. And he's like, no, we can't be together, but I want you. Except, you know, it's more about like boning happening than other stuff. Oh yeah, it's crazy. No vampires in
that's another
50
for
Shades.
another day. Well, all I know is I just kept writing notes like, her mom calls, haha, I lost my phone charger. Haha, I'm a mom and I abandoned you. Haha, I don't have a phone charger for you. I'm like, oh my god, this mom is killing me. And I thought it was weird that in high school they keep throwing things at people, like they're like flirting, but like chucking things at people. And then she starts stalking Edward because he doesn't show up to class because she smells. I was like, what's happening?
It's a lot of stalking, which is another crime, everyone. In case you were confused about it, let's be clear. It's a crime. Don't do it at all. Thank you.
And Kate, let's go back to White Lotus.
Okay.
Now, we all know that Albie was not great in the long run. But we know that in context, Albie versus Jack, Albie was nicer than Jack.
I guess.
But most women, and 2008, definitely most women, go for, like, the mean, mysterious, tall, dark, handsome guy.
Who tells you that you smell.
Tells you they don't want you.
Dry heaves
you smell,
next to you.
They dry heave. They make fun of you. They make fun of your intelligence, that you don't know what bacteria is in the lab.
Yeah.
But yet, there's another guy, who I forget the other guy's name, who's like, hi, love you, Bella. Hi, Jacob.
Oh, Mike?
Hi,
the blonde guy?
Want to go to the prom with me? Hibbida. And, like, nobody likes that. And so I'm like, should we maybe change up liking the vampires, you know?
Well,
should we write a petition?
Yeah, we could. Listen, I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm Team Jacob all the way. Okay. He said a weird mud pie comment, so that I don't like, but besides that, we got a lot of pros. That happened. But he ends up dating Bella and Edward's daughter. Uh-huh.
What?
Oh yeah,
What movie is that?
That's the fourth one. They made 5 movies because they split the fourth book into 2.
So I think he's like 20-something years older?
Yeah, but she actually ages rapidly because she's like part human, part vampire, like demon monstrosity. And then he imprints on her, which is some bullshit. And he was like, Bella, I can't help it. Like, it was meant to be. And you're like, this is not a good plot thread for love. But okay. That's kind of what Edward and Bella are. They're like, we were meant to be. And you're like, but guys,
wow, there's a lot of
so much shit. Dakota Fanning's in later movies. Oh my god, it's wild.
Wow. Okay. Then there's the murder. Then the murder thing happens, and they're like,
there's murder.
Some animal killed it, and the movie continues to be blue and gray, and it rains, and I just don't know what was happening, and then. They got a Golden Onion Prize for the lab.
They did.
And then they talked about the weather, and she goes, are you asking me about the weather? And I felt so Midwest. I was like, everyone asks everyone about the weather.
Yeah.
And he basically then just starts interrogating her and is like, well, why did you move here if you don't like the weather? If you don't like your dad? And why are you here? And blah, 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 blah. And I want to know everything about you because I can't read your mind. And she's like, what? That's weird.
There's a line. I gotta say it. I'm sorry to bring up the lines, but I'm gonna bring it up. He's like, talk about the weather. And she goes, I don't really like the rain. Any cold, wet thing. And then every time I watch that part, I yell out, like my dick!
What? What's that from?
I just think it's funny. Like, I just want him to say that in response. Like, oh, you won't like my dick then? Anyway,
wow.
So sorry. Because he's cold. Because
he is cold.
You see?
And probably wet.
Oh, and shiny. Uh-oh.
Oh my god, like diamonds? Ouch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do want to talk about specific sexual stuff later, but I don't need to keep going.
All right, so let's taltalk about, this is a big turning point in the plot. Bella almost gets hit by a car because
Thank God.
Is part of her personality is she is perpetually in danger. And yeah, why is that? Why?
The buildup of this car. This is why we know this actor is not continuing to act, because as he was driving, he was like, I can't control the van. I was like, this is really bad acting.
Yeah, he was not good. And then he's like, I'm so sorry.
But I was like really ready for some action at that point, and I was like, thank God.
Like, you wanted her to get hit, or?
No, I just wanted something to happen.
Like something, yes.
And I thought like that was really cool that he like swooped in and you could see like stop the car, and she was like, whoa. And I'm like, okay, this is cool.
And then he just fucking strolls away, and I was like, dude, you should probably talk to the cops. Okay, bye. We don't
Is
need
your
you.
hand okay, sir?
Like, everyone was like, that's normal. He's just leaving. It's fine.
But this is the part, like, you know, remember when we did Spider-Man where, like, all of a sudden Peter Parker gets his, like, abilities? You're like, yeah, baby,
I thought of Spider-Man a lot for some of this movie.
Mm.
And they even have a conversation about, like, wait, you a superhero or something? And he's like, what if I'm the bad guy, Bella? What if I'm actually the fucking killer? And you're like, but you're shiny, so I don't think so, you know?
She's like, you're shining bright like a diamond.
Yep, that's him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he basically just keeps trying to gaslight her, and she's like, no, you, like, saved me. Like, how'd you do that? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Bella. You have head injury. And I'm like, she probably fucking does, first of all, because of a lot of these choices, but fine. And then at one point, she and the other girls, they're like, we're gonna go to prom, and, like, we have to get dresses. Come with us. She's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. I want to go to a bookstore. She goes to a bookstore to look at one page, and then she Googles.
Very 2008. You know, we didn't really understand the power of the internet at that point.
Yeah,
Facebook was just coming out, 2008.
But, Bridge, this is where we do lean into the stalking, which is a crime. Did I say that already? I'll say it again.
He just pops into her room, right?
Well, that, but also he does save her from rapists, which I'm like, listen, if all stalkers saved us from rapists, that's wonderful, but that's not what the stalkers do, you guys. Like, come on.
Gee, that's such a good point. If we could train stalkers to be saviors, that would, like, a stalker versus rapist battle?
I think the stalker usually is the rapist, though.
That's true.
And then
that's true.
Yeah. Let's just not do any of that. Okay. And then Edward does speeding violations. He almost runs someone over the car.
Wait.
It's great.
Hold on. I know my brain is on cars, okay? I just bought a car.
Yes.
I gotta say, for a cool, hot vampire, what is this?
Was it a Prius?
This is like a Nissan crossover. Oh. It's like a mom car. Isn't it a weird choice?
Yeah, but, like, whatever, Bridge. He can drive fast. And he, like, probably causes traffic accidents. But, like, you know, no culpability. Ugh.
I'm sorry. It's a Volvo S60R.
I don't know
That's what your mom drives, okay?
Probably.
But now she's like, wait a second. You saved me from a car.
Yeah.
You come to school, you don't come to school. I smell, I don't smell. And now you're stalking me. And he's like, yeah, I am. And I kind of hated his one-line answers up until this point. And, like, finally he started to articulate himself. And I was like, thank God.
Well, because she was even like, can you, like, answer questions? And I was like, Bella, I would have gave up, like, a fucking long time ago. But this is where he does I read minds. And she's like, that's cool. And I'm like, wait, is it? Or should we react? Oh, God. Okay, cool.
She really doesn't, like, respond appropriately this whole movie.
Yeah.
She's like, all right.
Everyone's mind but yours. I'm like, oh, okay, it's weird. So a lot of things are learned, kind of. She still doesn't connect he's a fucking vampire until she goes to the Google and then has to Google shit.
Learns
from a
about
book
the
page.
cold one.
The cold one.
To Egypt. Looks at some mummy stuff. Brendan Fraser quietly is like, it's the quiet one.
I really wish she was just reading the synopsis of The Mummy and Brendan Fraser's there. Like, she's like, I'm learning.
His teeth just pop out. He's like... Oh my god, he's like the Beetlejuice, but for vampires. Okay. Also, I wrote, this is some Jodie Foster shit, because she figured out he was a vampire, quicker than I did. Because honestly, I'm not thinking that he's a vampire. I know the story, obviously, but, like, would you think that?
I don't know. I might, because I'm a little Fox Mulder sometimes.
Well, Katie, I would think you'd think it's an alien before it's a vampire.
You know, that's true. I probably would ask that first. In the woods scene, he'd be like, say it out loud. And I'd be like, alien. He's like, no, bitch, come on.
Wait.
2 more guesses.
I'm gonna kick myself for saying this, but is there a Degrassi episode about vampires?
Okay, yes, because in season, I think, like, 12 or 13, I feel like it was, like, 12, maybe, one of the freshman girls has a crush on a senior guy named Declan, and he's, like, the really hot guy, and she writes vampire fan fiction about him, but, like, uses, like, a pseudo author name, and then everyone's like, who wrote this story? And then he finds out it was her. It's so drama.
Cool.
So there's not real vampires, but they reference reference.
That's cool.
They reference the YA craze.
Okay, so what was very interesting is, like, once he admits he's a vampire, I guess he's like, well, just, you can't be with me. You can't be with me. I'm gonna murder you. I'm a murderer. I'm this. And she's like, I love you. I'm like, Bella.
Blech. Yeah, they
Bella.
whip out the love word real quick.
You know what, Kate? We learned from Love Actually.
Oh, God,
What's the common interest? Have you had longer than a minute conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
What are you going to talk about on a rainy afternoon? He's living forever, so what?
Like, what's your, like, love language? Like, are you signs
Exactly.
are you, like, words of affirmation?
He's acts of service. Absolutely.
He's definitely not the physical touch one, because
He's definitely not that.
Absolutely not.
And I don't even know about gifts. I think quality time and acts of service, because he's always around.
Yeah. And pretty quickly, he's like, let's go meet my family. They're all bloodthirsty killers. Yeah. Come on in. And she's like, yippee. Let's fucking
She was so casual. She was like, I won't tell anyone that you're vampires.
Yeah.
She's like, don't worry about it.
But, like, should we call Guillermo from What We Do?
Oh my God. Can you imagine if he
was
just like, whipped, Bella?
Broke through the window and killed all of them? I love that, honestly.
God, that's such a great fucking plot.
I want someone to do that.
The line that made me laugh so hard, where they go on this whole thing about lambs and lions.
Oh, God.
And she's like,
that is very biblical, now that you say that. The religion. Ew.
Well, and she's like, I knew 3 things. Edward was a vampire. He wanted my blood. And I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. I was like, what?
You know, I just spider monkeys and skin of a killer, Bella, and then he's like sparkling like a diamond. And
first of all, was that in the book, the diamond thing?
Yes.
Because I was like, oh, I get it. They're not in the sun because like they burn up. And that is quite a twist from typical vampire stuff.
It is. It's a twist. And also, like, they never reference like mirrors, because that's like vampire lore. Like, you don't see a vampire in a mirror, but that's never brought up. The diamond thing was always in the books, and I think the rationale is like, it makes you stand out, but you don't die. And in the second movie, Bridge, Edward tries to get himself publicly executed because he broke up with Bella because he didn't want to hurt her, which he kind of tried to do this movie, but then she was like, no. And his plan is to go out naked in a public place and shine like a diamond. Hashtag shine bright like a diamond with your junk out. And then the other vampires would kill him for exposing what a vampire is. What? That's a plot thread, y'all. Woo!
Wow, this is Degrassi.
There's so much.
Wow.
Tell me what you think about the family. I'd like to know. Give me the thoughts.
I think my favorite character is Rosalie.
Yep, she's the best.
Who, by the way, if I'm making a salad and I take a long time and then someone says I already ate dinner and I was pissed we had to make this fake salad for them and I had vampire strength, I'd probably break the glass too.
She has the best vampire backstory, by the way.
Tell me, I don't know anything, Kate.
So she was like in Victorian England or some bullshit, and she was like engaged to a guy, and then the night before their wedding, like the guy went out and got really drunk, and then like she for some reason was out, and then the guy like basically had him and all his friends like attack and rape her. And then she was like wanted a baby, but then when you get turned into a vampire, you can't have a baby. So then like somebody turned her into a vampire, and she was like sad because she was like, well, now I'll never have a baby. It's crazy.
No wonder. So she's like really mad.
She just like hates everyone. Yeah. And that like stays. And I'm kind of like, I get it. You know, this is kind of dumb. Like, why the fuck are we dating? Guys, why are you dating? Come on.
If my fake family who made me a vampire made me go to school and play baseball with those hats, I'm not. And then make salads? I'm
the hats
here.
are the drawing the line part.
Out of control.
Yeah.
So then she sees his bedroom and she's like, you don't have a bed. And he's like, I don't sleep. And then he just starts flying places with her.
Yeah, hold on tight, spider monkey. God. Like, what if she
I laughed so hard.
Bitch, you didn't even ask. Like, you're just like throwing her on there. What if she lets go and she falls to her death? Hello?
I didn't know what was happening. But then it was like, they all decided like, all right, cool. It's just cool to have a human around.
I guess.
Now, here's where I thought it was weird. They're around humans all the time. And they're like, this is so stressful to have you around. I'm like, that's literally what you guys do. But then when I realized that other vampires try to find them and other vampires are evil vampires and they're not all like these vampires, I'm like, okay, now I'm tracking this as Danger Town.
I think they were just like, we don't want to be responsible for your bullshit, Bella. And I was like, no, I get it. Because she's like a walking train wreck of disaster. Yeah. So, okay. Then they play baseball. Now we're friends. We're all playing baseball. Okay. There is a line in here that didn't need to exist, but it was said by Rosalie. Girl, I'm so sorry to say this line. Do you know what it is, Bridge?
No.
It's another monkey reference. She goes, my monkey man, to her, like, boyfriend dude who, like, caught a baseball. And I was like, wait, guys, why is there a monkey? Why? What's happening? And then we get the dramatic evil vampire entrance, and it's very drama.
Yo, who's the super evil dude that tries to kill her?
Bridget's name is James. Do you want to talk about it?
Makes a lot of fucking sense,
Whoa!
James. He was, like, scary.
Yeah, he had, like, dead eyes, which, like, I guess they all are supposed to have because they're dead.
And Victoria was scary, but the other dude seemed pretty reasonable, and his name was Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, that guy. They're a lot, and they're like, yeah, we, like, killed everyone. Anyway, let's play baseball. And then Carlisle's like, all right, let's do it. Get on in here. I was like, Carlisle, we could have just said we were, like, done.
I
like,
literally thought that. I was like,
I don't know why.
Can't you guys,
say you got, like, a health appointment or a dentist you gotta go to. Come on.
Well, and can't Edward read their minds and be like, they're no good. Let's tell them we're done for the day.
I think they knew that they were bad, though.
I also want, why are they only playing baseball in the thunder?
Because when they hit the ball, it's like a loud crack like thunder. So it like covers up that they're playing baseball.
Didn't get that.
Oh. That's why they're like, we can only play baseball when it's a thunderstorm.
I didn't get that at all. And I was like, do they have more powers because of the lightning?
I don't think so.
Wow.
But I wouldn't hate it if Thor dropped in and hit all of them with his hammer.
Play ball! And he throws this thing down.
Bro! They all explode? Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Fucking weird. And then it gets real drama real fucking quick where they're like, oh my god, it's a girl, let's eat her. And then they're like...
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, sorry. I got into that one. Oh, Bridge, wait, we skipped one not Bedward. Ella, oh god, Bella and Edward. Jesus Christ. We skipped when they, make out.
So the whole time I was like, when are they gonna kiss? Okay, they finally kissed. And I gotta say, they got some chemistry. I understand why they dated for a while.
Yeah, they dated for a long time, too, I think. Yeah, and then Edward's like, oh my god, no, I can't control it. You're just so amazing, Bella. I was like, bleh. Excuse me. Bleh.
I also was like, do vampires make out? Like, do they have sex? What's the deal there?
They have a lot of sex, but only with other vampires. Because it's like, I don't know, diamond sex.
Whoa.
So I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. All right, so they made out. Okay, fine. So now they're like, okay, Bella, now this guy's gonna try to kill you. I don't really know why.
That escalated quickly.
Like, so quick. Like, we could have just...
I don't know either.
And then Edward's like, I read his mind. I know he wants to murder you. He's gonna hunt you. Let's drive you out of state. And she's like, what about my dad? And then Edward's like, I don't give a fuck about your dad, Bella. I worry about you only because this is a healthy codependent relationship.
Yo, they got so clingy so fast. And I was like, listen, this seems like love bombing, but what if it's when both of them love bomb?
It's like love nuclear bomb.
It's a love bomb.
Bomb.
So then this whole piece of the movie is like super action.
This is The Fugitive.
Exactly. That's a perfect description. We're at a hotel. No, we're lying to our dad. And we're being really mean to our dad. And then we're running away from our mom. Then we're getting visions of where we should go. And then everyone's like trying to track other scents. And we're trying to kill him. I'm like, I'm so tired. I could not keep up with what's happening. And then they all do a terrible job because she basically almost dies.
She literally just like walks away from the hotel. And I was like, guys, your one job? Did you forget? Did you? Okay.
One job.
Yeah. So this all gets set up because Alice and Jasper take Bella to Arizona. And then the guy figures out that's where they are. And he finds out where she used to live with her mom. So he goes to the mom's house and he steals a home video. And it like has the convenience plot of the mom saying weird things.
How many were these videos cataloged? How did he get this video?
Yeah, because I will tell you, all right, I like watching home videos sometimes. And like, if you don't know what's on there, you're going to have to really fast forward and rewind. Okay? I'm just saying. There's no way.
You had an obsession with home videos.
They're just like really fun to watch.
You loved them.
Yeah. And somehow he found the perfect one
of
the mom like talking, but it wasn't in real time talking. And so he basically is like, Bella, come meet me at your ballet studio. There is no reason we should go there, but we're gonna go there because drama. And you're like,
exactly.
Okay, cool. And she just fucking goes. She's like, I'm on it. Here we go. And then she just walks out. What? And lo and behold, he doesn't have her mom. It was like a video. And then he like wants to film a snuff film of him like torturing and killing her. And I don't like it. It's gonna end up on the dark web. I don't.
Oh,
not a fan.
Kate, I hated it.
That I was like, this is PG-13. Okay, this is the only part that's PG-13.
Well, he breaks her leg and films it.
Oh, I hate it. Ugh, I hate it.
That hurt.
It hurt me.
And she should have died multiple times because he just threw her around like a rag doll.
Yeah, and then, don't worry, guys. Edward's there, and then he gets in a vampire fight.
Yo, he may not be the strongest, but he's the fastest.
He is the fastest.
And he says, I might be stronger than you.
And then Bella's just laying there like, I'm useless. And then everybody else shows up, and then they're like, all right, quick, like, go kill him. And then, like, just casually, they behead James.
Burn his body.
They, like, rip his limbs off, and then burn him, and that's how you're supposed to kill a vampire, what? And that's just done in the background, because we have to focus on Bella, guys, because her arm got bit, and, like, she's becoming a vampire. Oh my god, the drama.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then Carla's like, Edward, you gotta make a choice. Do you want another foster kid for me and my cults, or just keep her a human? Choose, Edward, choose. And I was like, both choices are bad, so...
Well, and I was
I don't know.
So he's so nervous he's gonna kill her because if he gets the taste of blood, he's like, he's like a shark in Finding Nemo, and then he can't control himself.
I guess.
But he seemed to control himself pretty well.
I think he was
because
alright.
I was asking the question, is she a vampire now? But she wasn't. She was a human.
She's a human.
So he sucked the vampire venom.
Yes.
But not enough to kill her.
He sucked the venom out, and then he was supposed to stop, and then Colorado was like, wait, you kept going, and now you're killing her. And then he did stop, and you're like, okay.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So
the
dramatic.
best part of this ending is she now wakes up in the hospital. Well, and she also goes through a very drama, like music video where she goes, death is easy, life is harder. I was like, no! Emo 16-year-old, no!
I literally was like, this is like a Backstreet Boys video.
I wish they were in the background of the woods dancing.
If you put on
in sequence.
It's all I ever wanted. And you see Bella and Edward and all these little... It's all I ever needed, yeah.
That does fit pretty well.
It would be perfect.
Honestly. So she wakes up in the hospital. She's not dead. She's not a vampire. She's just her same fucking self that ruins everything cool. Her mom is there, and her mom's like, oh my god, do you remember anything? And Bella's like, I don't fucking know. And then the mom goes, well, you got in a fight, and then you went to a hotel, and Edward and his dad followed you to convince you to come back. It's normal. I'm not going to question it or wonder how they found you, and should I call the cops about stalking? Anyway, and then by yourself at this hotel, you fell down 2 flights of stairs, and then you crashed out of a window. And everybody believes the story, and honestly, I kind of would see Bella doing that too. And that's the most believable part of this movie, is that could have happened.
This mom not doing the greatest job. I'm just gonna say.
Somebody needs to call Child Protective Services, because she is still, in the eyes of the law, a child, and I'm worried.
I don't even know if she has her iPhone charger. She's a mess.
Well, and then she's like, and now you're gonna live with me in Florida. And Bella's like, no, Mom, I'm gonna stay here in Forks forever. And the mom's like, oh dear, I should probably talk to you and a therapist about that, but okay, sure. And then Edward's like, thank God, Bella, there you are. And then he's like, I think you should go to Florida. That seems like the best choice. And then she's like, no! She freaks out. And then he's like, okay, you can stay here. And I was like, this is not
I'm so confused. I'd be like, I basically died because of this vampire guy, but now we're supposed to be in love forever. Like, yeah. But yet he always tells me he doesn't want me.
Yeah. That happens for like 2 more movies.
And then he like saves my life continuously because he pretty much puts my life in danger.
It's kind of a vicious cycle.
It's exhausting. It's very like death kinky. Is there a thing like people into death?
Probably, yeah.
God, I bet you Beetlejuice would get a kick out of this.
Well, I wish he was here.
Yo, so Victoria is gonna like kill her in the next movie?
No, Bella doesn't die.
But
or does she? She might die.
She said she wanted to be a vampire.
Well, she does. She becomes a vampire in the last movie.
Oh, wow.
Very drama.
Oh my god.
Because she gives birth to their demon vampire human hybrid baby. Wow. And then the baby, because it's part vampire, is like drinking her blood from the inside. And then they're like, she's gonna die. We gotta save her. And then Edward's like, I'll make her a vampire right now when she gave birth. And then she's a vampire. And then when she wakes up, her baby's like a toddler. And you're like,
I thought pregnancy was tough for me.
Victoria does come back in the next... Actually, she has a big role in the 3rd movie. I think the second one, she kind of disappears because the second one's all about how Edward literally breaks up with Bella like he wanted to, and then she gets sad and depressed, and then she hangs out with Jacob more. And I'm like, good, thank you. All right.
Oh my god, this is exhausting.
It's a lot, Bridge. There's so much. But we end going to prom.
And there's a gazebo.
Except they don't really do anything at prom. They're like by themselves in a corner. And you're like, okay.
Oh my god.
Cool.
Wow.
That's how it ends. So now they're in love? Question mark?
I get it though. You know, you're 16, you watch this, everybody's hot. I get it.
He's rich guy, he lives forever. Yeah.
He's obsessed with you.
Obsessed.
But also tells you he doesn't want you and he's kind of mysterious and he could kill you. And then
and
it's
you
like,
smell and like you're always clumsy.
Which puberty
and, like,
is flying.
You're a burden for our family. Yeah, it's really romantic.
Thank you for making me watch this movie, Kate, because now that I've actually watched it, I'm like, okay, I get the obsession, but it's still ridiculous. You have to be 16 to watch
There
it.
is one thing I want to say. I mean, the movie and the story is one thing and like whatever. But this woman I used to watch on YouTube, she's no longer does YouTube videos. She made a whole video about how the Twilight series in general, like it got so much hate and like got made fun of. And like there are things to make fun of and that's fine. But she kind of made a good point saying like it was a little excessive. And in her opinion, she didn't feel like it had more to do with the story. She felt it had more to do with like what teenage girls are interested in, which is all the stuff in this movie. And so it was more like a cultural society thing of like our society likes to make fun of teenage girls. And here's the point. And I was like, honestly, yeah, I feel that for some of it, because when I think about I'm in high school and I meet a guy I like, not all of the progression of what happens in this movie, but like a lot of that same stuff we've all, experienced at some point or, maybe in a different way.
I believe the term is called negging, where someone says mean things to you because they want you to like them.
We talked about that.
Does that make me sound old?
Something about Mary. Oh my God. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. And I was like, yeah. But this is was a very big cultural phenomenon. And the vampire craze is settled. I wouldn't be surprised if in the future it gets resurgence. Who knows? Ooh. We'll get new shiny vampires. Who knows?
Vampires are always hot and they never go away.
Yeah. They, want to kill you. But like you might have sex with one. So you're like, all right.
I'm telling you, if Rihanna came out with a song / skincare that was just the shimmery body shimmer and she tied it to Everett Cullen.
Shine bright like
you
Everett Cullen.
Imagine that throwback.
I mean, I'd buy it.
And calling it like something really cool, like, I don't know, like the Twilight-y. Well, something cooler than that, but you know what I mean. Okay.
Bridge.
Watch it or don't watch it.
I think, okay, listeners, I think y'all watch it at least once. If it's not your style, you'll get a kick out of it. You get some laughs. Okay? You don't have to watch it a lot, though. Just do once. Do it for me. Bridge.
Watch it like you're a teenager, and that's it.
Yes. And that's it. And know that it's not okay. Okay? Okay.
I got a movie for you, Kate.
Woo!
We're gonna go back to 2001.
Wow. Okay.
Now, I don't think we've done anything with the main character.
Oh.
Who is a nostalgic leading lady.
Ooh. Okay.
This is a movie. I think this captivated people at a point in time. And I think when we look back, we're going to laugh really hard. And I think it's going to give some Love Actually vibes.
Uh-oh. Is it a rom-com?
It is a rom-com. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
/ not sorry. /
all right.
Well, for a while, people used to scream this at me because I have the same name. We're watching
Bridget
Jones's Diary.
Renee. And then all the other British guys.
Bridget.
Oh my god, this is definitely going to be like Love Actually because everyone's British. Also, isn't this the movie where they try to convince us Bridget Jones is overweight and she's like a normal body?
Yes.
Cool. Good. Okay, I'm ready. All women keep score. Only the great ones put it in writing. Oh, because it's a diary? I don't know if I've ever seen this, actually.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Oh man.
Here
Wait,
we go,
Bridget
Kate.
Jones is determined to improve herself while she looks for love in a year in which she keeps a personal diary. Okay.
Let's do it, Kate. Can't wait.
Woo! Oh, well, Bridge.
Yes.
If you moved to Sporks, Washington, and you were single or something,
spider monkeys,
and you were being stalked by a man who thought you smelled and didn't think you should date, and he kind of wanted to kill you, but you were like, it's love. Bridge, I would have an intervention with a lot of people and be like, listen, let's watch Twilight and see how this plays out, because it's not great. Okay? You're going to fall down 2 flights of stairs and go out a window, I think.
Go out a window. It's not going to be good. You're going to break your leg.
Yep. Do that because I love you.
Go to prom in a boot.
Don't do
Kate,
that. Bridge!
That's sweet. That's sweet. Thank you for that. If you were living with mom in Arizona, having a great life, and she's like, you know what? I met this new guy. Sorry, Dad. I met this new guy, and he's a minor league baseball player, and I feel like roaming around town, and I'm going to leave you. You're junior year in high school. I would sit her down and say, Mother, take it easy. That guy can travel, and you have FaceTime, and he has an off season. Finish out the school year. She can't be going to Sporks.
Not Sporks. Oh, and listeners, if you also think that parents should just be parent, like that's one of your identities.
Just finish out the high school years,
One of your roles. Yeah, so don't give up on that. And if you think that Edward needs to chill, and if you think that dating a vampire will end in blood, because it probably will, you should write us a review.
Hey, yo.
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. All right, so you go in there, you fill out the form, goes on a list. Sometimes we do the list, and yeah, we'll do it eventually. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee.
Woo!
And that coffee would keep us alive as much as Edward. So the more you give, the more we'll drink. Also, we could give you the chance to buy merchandise.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, all of a sudden, you're realizing, oh no, these people gave me Christmas presents and Hanukkah presents and all these presents, and I didn't give it to them, and it's too late. I don't know what to do because it's like months and months past. Don't worry, buy them a gift.
Woo! Yes.
Go on our website, check it out.
A lot of good stuff on there, listeners, and maybe we'll make a Sporks greeting card. What? I don't know.
I love
it. Yep. So check all that out, and we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see you all next week for Bridget Jones's Diary. Bridget! Oh, that should be a drinking game. Take a sip every time they say your name. Do they say your name a lot? I don't know.
I don't know either, but I can't wait. Because you know what? It's a movie when the snow's out and there's nothing left to do. It's probably on TV.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I love you. I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Bye.
Just like Edward loves Bella and Bella loves Edward. That's how much I love you.
Wow. I love you.
Shine bright like a diamond. I love you. Bye-bye.
Brianna, bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.